On Showbiz tonight, the victim becomes the abuser. Reports reveal that Italian actress Asia Argento, who led the Metoo movement, has paid harsh money to a minor actor after accepting charges of sexual abuse. Resurfacing after his own abuse allegations, Academy Award winner Kevin Spacy released his new movie. You won't believe as to how much money it made on the first day. And we are counting down to the #1 box office movie of this week. Jason Statham's The Meg is doing strong at the top, but will something crazy happen? Find out about that and much more coming right up on Showbiz tonight. Hello everyone, welcome to Showbiz Tonight, where everything showbiz is possible. I'm your host Mahieash Johnney, and in the next 30 minutes, just sit down, relax and enjoy the countdown to the #1 box office movie of the week. The question is, Jason Statham's new movie about Megalodon, or translation a huge killer fish titled The Meg, be able to hook its steed to the #1 spot and survive, or do we have another surprise? Now, before we get you the details of the countdown, just a reminder that our countdown of the box office movies is based on weekend sales and not the weekday sales. Why? Well, it's mainly because the daily data count changes every single time and it's impossible for us to make a good read on those data. So that's why we base this countdown on the weekend sales. Now, 3 movies are leaving the countdown tonight. Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was at number 10 last week. As you've guessed it, it is leaving the countdown this week, along with The Equalizer 2, and of course, the flop of the season, I would say, The Spy Who Dumped Me. Perhaps they should have brought in Melissa McCarthy to play the lead. Well, instead of those 3 movies, we have brand new entrants coming into the countdown. So let's get started. Well, at number 10 this week, released 10 years after the original, Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again, reunites the old cast with a delightful bunch of younger faces for a joyous and wonderfully camp extravaganza, which right now is just what we all need in our lives, right? The film serves both a sequel following Sophie, played by Amanda Seyfried, as she struggles to balance marriage with preparations to reopen her mother Donna's hotel, and a prequel telling the tale of how a young Donna, played by Lily James, meets all 3 of Sophie's potential fathers for the very first time. Unfortunately, despite me loving this movie so much, for the first one 10 years ago, I was singing ABBA like a fangirl all the time. Well, Mamma Mia 2 is littered with plot holes and inconsistencies between the first film and this one. Now, Donna meets her 3 young men in a different order than was described in movie #1, while uninteresting side plots exist merely to justify the inclusion of certain songs. Now, after analyzing all that, I can say if you are a fan of the first movie, you might be disappointed a bit with this one. But still, the songs of ABBA carries the movie to a very feel-good state. Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again drops down 3 places from last week and becomes our number 10th box office movie of this week. Well, our number 9th movie at the countdown is the animation Hotel Transylvania 3, The Summer Vacation. The movie has now managed to cross over $400 million mark and becomes the highest grossing movie of the entire series. The silliness and the usual puns with dad jokes, I guess, is actually driving children and their parents for a fun-filled 1.5 hours of the movie. Hotel Transylvania 3, The Summer Vacation is our number 9th box office movie of this week. Alright, at number 8 this week is last week number 4th entrant, and it drops down a massive 4 places this week. It's none other than The Slender Man. The movie strived towards scaring moviegoers in a feel-good way, like the movie It from last year. However, instead of making them feel good, it just outright disgusts them. The storyline of Slender Man is that of a bunch of teenagers are haunted by this online era creep who comes after them after watching a video. Sounds familiar, right? To put it into another perspective, this is The Ring in this YouTube day and age. Critics and moviegoers alike are shying away from this spooky story. Many are saying that if you compare the movie The Ring and The Slender Man, well, simply put, The Ring is good, The Slender Man is terrible. I really don't think this movie would be able to stick into the countdown beyond this week. However, this week, it's our number 8th box office movie on Showbiz Tonight.
Check this out. Here is the last site she visited. Slender Man. He preys on innocent youth. What was that?
I this is how we get Katie back.
Those who hear the 3 bells toll accept his invitation. When you hear the first, you must close your eyes.
Katie?
Opening your eyes only once you've heard the third.
More from the countdown coming right up, but let's check in as to what's happening in Hollywood.
Actress and filmmaker Asia Argento has found herself on the other side of the hashtag Metoo conversation. The New York Times reported that months after publicly accusing Harvey Weinstein of rape, Argento made a deal with a young actor who accused her of sexual assault. The New York Times say it has lawyers' documents showing that actor and musician Jimmy Bennett alleged Argento sexually assaulted him in 2013 when he was 17 and she was 37. Gordon Ramsay just got served. But instead of dinner, it's his second lawsuit with a restaurant featured on Kitchen Nightmares. In 2011, Oceana Grill in New Orleans appeared on the 4th season of the Kitchen Nightmares, a show in which the famous chef notoriously shames chefs and restaurant owners with failing businesses and dirty kitchens in hope of revitalizing their businesses. The seafood spot off Bourbon Street, however, says the British chef did way more harm than good, not just once, but twice. Jennifer Garner was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and her 3 adorable kids were by her side to celebrate the big milestone. The 46-year-old actress, who is set to kick ass on the big screen in her upcoming action film Peppermint, stunned in a fitted blue dress and flashed her signature smile for photographers. Johnny Depp is not denying that he physically hit a location manager while on production for his movie City of Lies, but he's claiming it was done out of self-defense and should therefore not cause him any legal or financial problems. Answering the complaint filed earlier this year by Greg Rocky Brooks, Depp argues that any violence brought upon a location manager was because the actor feared for his safety during the incident.
And number 7 this week, well, a controversial movie that is taking all the hot button topics of the world right now. It's Black K Klansman, Spike Lee's new movie that checked in at number 5 last week and drops to the 7th spot this week. Now, given this day and age we are living right now, this movie is a must-see movie if you want your mind intrigued and your thoughts provoked. Receiving rave reviews at the Cannes Film Festival and now the US and the world over, Spike Lee's film Black K Klansman tells the true story of a black police officer in the 70s America who infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan. And let's be very clear, racism is not funny. But laughing at racists in the hands of Spike Lee, that's hilarious. As well as being incredibly powerful and must-see cinema. With a box office sales of around $25 million, here's a look at this week's number 7 box office movie of the week, The Black K Klansman.
Well, I'm not risking my life to prevent some rednecks from lighting a couple sticks on fire.
This is the job. What's your problem?
That's my problem. For you, it's a crusade. For me, it's a job. It's not personal, nor should it be.
Why haven't you bought into this?
Why should I?
Because you're Jewish, brother. The so-called chosen people. You've been passing for a WASP. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, cherry pie hot dog white boy. That's what some light-skinned black folks do. They pass for white. Doesn't that hatred you've been hearing the Klan say, doesn't that piss you off?
In this week's new release movie, well, we're going to introduce you to another sequel to an age-old classic. Well, the reawakening of the Predator series is something that you will see in a few weeks. The exclusive trailer of the movie was released recently. The storyline of this Predator movie is when a young boy accidentally triggers the universe's most lethal hunters to return to Earth. Only a retagged crew of ex-soldiers and disgruntled science teacher can prevent the end of the human race. Now, starring Johan Strahovski, Olivia Munn, Jacob Tremblay, Keegan-Michael Key and Sterling K. Brown, this movie will indeed take you back to the original Predator series where these creatures from out of this world come hunting for humans. Remember that eerie sound they all make? Well, all that is well injected to this new movie, releasing worldwide in September 14th. Here's a look at Predator 2018.
Found him in Mexico. Data suggests it attracts prey. A Ranger sniper made first contact. He's being evaluated.
You shove me again, I'm gonna break your neck. That's the thing that killed my man.
It'll take us one by one.
So come and get us.
Well, time to get back to the countdown right now. Checking in at number 6 this week is Disney's Christopher Robin, starring Ewan McGregor and Haley Atwell. This age-old classic, the spin-off of Winnie the Pooh, is doing quite well at the box office. So far in world sales, the movie has managed to get around $90 million just in 2 weeks. It was also released during this weekend in the UK, and surprise, surprise, the British weren't actually raving about the whole experience like how the Americans did. Remember last week I told you that mainly critics in the US was calling this movie Oscar-worthy, especially the sound artist who lent his voice to Winnie the Pooh. While across the Atlantic, a whole different story. It's like they are watching a whole different version of Christopher Robin. Critics in the UK are saying that it's a missed opportunity to make a family film with real heart. Despite all that negativity, Christopher Robin is our number 6th box office movie of this week.
Pooh, why are you here?
Oh, yes, I need your help. I've lost all of my friends.
Let's get to the bottom. Look up, Pooh. Here I come. It would appear that I am stuck.
Have you just eaten honey?
I have not just eaten honey. I wonder which way.
I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I have been.
Do you?
That's the way I do it.
Hello, Eeyore.
Christopher Robin, it's you played again.
Let's go and see if we can find Piglet. I've already stayed far too long. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you all again.
Why, thank you.
Silly old bear.
Now, a backstory to Christopher Robin, its star Ewan McGregor has revealed that he would love to reprise the title role in a sequel, continuing to explore the world of Winnie the Pooh. He told the I newspaper, and I quote, "Totally ready for a sequel. It was never mentioned when we shot it, but I'll be happy to do it again. I'll be up for it. I'll sign on the dotted line right now." End of quote. Well, let's take a short commercial break. On the other side, I'll tell you all about who's taking the number 1 spot tonight and also more news from Hollywood. Stick around. Celebrating birthdays today, the beautiful and talented Melissa McCarthy turns 47. Wonder Woman actor Chris Pines is 37. Home Alone star Macaulay Culkin too turns 37, and the world also commemorates the birth of Mother Teresa, who would have been 108. Welcome back to Showbiz Tonight. We got the top 5 movies coming up, and let's go and check in straight at number 5. It's all a slippery slope to a movie expected to hang in the top ranks of the box office. It's none other than Mission Impossible Fallout. The movie, as of now, has managed $500 million at the box office. Fallout is now the 6th highest grossing film of the year, placing approximately 15% ahead of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation at the same point in its release cycle, and the 9th highest grossing film of the year worldwide, recently topping Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, overall, Fallout's performance is faring very well against previous installments of the franchise, like Mission Impossible 2, which was previously the quickest to the mark within the United States. Now, despite its fall from last week's number 2 spot to this week's number 5 spot, here's a look at Mission Impossible Fallout.
Go time.
Well, a new entrant tonight at the countdown at number 4. It's a movie called Alpha from Sony. Alpha takes a conventional boy and his dog tail and does something wholly unexpected with it. I'm mostly surprised that Alpha got made. On one hand, it's thoroughly conventional, a drama about a teenager who is separated from his family and, while finding his way home, learns to be a man with the help of a companionship of his dog. That's basically the plot of a family-friendly Disney-style film. prepped with heartwarming moments of connection and growth and discovery. Now, predictably, it's been marketed as such a coming-of-age tale and an incredible story of how mankind discovered man's best friend, as one official tagline puts it. Now, so how did Alpha do at the box office? Well, in its opening weekend of screening in 2,700 theaters across the world, it managed to only get around $10 million. This is mainly attributes to the lack of star power within the movie. A storyline may be good, but in order to bring in the big bucks, you very well know you need to have the famous faces that attracts moviegoers to cinema. Have a look and see for yourself. Here's Alpha, our number 4th new entrant to the box office countdown this week. Well, let's take a break from the countdown and introduce you to something that would intrigue your mind and make your movie-loving experience a better one. In this week's independent movie, I want to introduce you to Tolly. This movie is an underrepresented look at the realities of being a parent, which mostly pleased audiences when it was secretly debuting Sundance, though that buzz failed to translate to box office interest. The film stars Charlize Theron as struggling mom Marla, who pushed to her breaking point with the arrival of her 3rd child. However, a generous gift from her brothers changes everything as she offers to foot the bill for a night nurse acclimated to the new normal. Now, here's a look at Tully, our indie movie of this week.
Are you okay? Yeah. What? Oh, it's milk. I make milk.
Before we continue with the countdown and to our top 3, let's get you updated with more news from Hollywood.
The cast and crew of Veep are back in action. Less than 1 year after star Julia Louis-Dreyfus announced she had breast cancer, the actress is healthy and back at work. Louis-Dreyfus wrote in a post on Instagram, quote, "So deeply grateful to be back together with all these super people," unquote, accompanied by a video of her giving a short speech before filming commenced. Production on the 7th and final season of HBO's Veep had been postponed as Louis-Dreyfus sought treatment. The film Billionaire Boys Club, the first movie featuring Kevin Spacy to be released since the 59-year-old actor was accused by multiple people of sexual misconduct, reportedly made less than $130 on its first day in theaters. Critics described the film's cinema debut as a career low at the box office for the Oscar-winning performer.
Time to check in with the top 3 box office movies of this week. We have 2 new entrants to the countdown, and at number 3 is one of those new movies. It's an action thriller starring Mark Wahlberg titled Mile 22. Now, Mark Wahlberg has starred in some movies that wowed movie reviewers and fans like Boogie Nights, Three Kings and The Fighter. He's also been in plenty of films that absolutely bombed with critics like Max Payne, Broken City and 2 of the Transformer movies. It appears Wahlberg's latest, Mile 22, falls into the latter category. Here, have a look at our number 3 box office movie of this week, Mile 22.
What? He's been accurate on everything else, John. 100%. And he appears driven and motivated by something other than funding.
Fix this.
Oh, it's going to be fixed.
Every one of these events occurred as a result of a failure of imagination. Your job is not to predict tomorrow based on yesterday. That's what academics do. Your job is to prevent the end of tomorrow by using your brains and your imagination.
There are 2 huge mega movies vying for the top spot this week. One's a fish and the other one's a bit crazy. So who is it? Well, at number 2, it's none other than last week's number 1 movie, The Meg. Yes, this big fish saga was not big enough to hold on to the top spot and falls to the 2nd spot this week. However, despite its drop, this mega movie has managed to take a massive chunk out from the box office. Let's say a bite worth around $300 million within one weekend. Talking about the movie The Meg, well, when the trailer for the movie first dropped, it was met with excitement from those wanting a blockbuster movie with Jason Statham punching sharks in the face. Now that The Meg is out, we can see that there's more. It's not just Statham fighting sharks, it has a message about the environment and what we are doing to the world's shark population. Maybe The Meg is trying to have its cake and eat it, neither as fun nor as serious as it could have been. But it is one of the rare killer shark films that tries to say something about the real-life treatment of sharks and the environment. For a film about Jason Statham punching a giant shark in the face, that's a massive step forward. And with that, here's a look at our number 2 box office movie of the week, The Meg.
The largest shark that ever existed.
It's a megalodon.
Who can it be? Who can take the crown this week? Now, if you remember, in the last 2 weeks, I've been telling you about a movie to be in the lookout for. Guess what? The looking is over and the movie is here and it takes the crown in a much surprised manner. It's none other than the Crazy Rich Asians. Now, many critics said that when the movie Crazy Rich Asians, which is about a rich Asian guy bringing his girlfriend who's also Asian back to Asia to his home, would only manage to get around $18 million in its opening weekend. They expected it to slowly die down the craziness, I guess. However, Crazy Rich Asians has done the craziest thing. They have defied expectations, soaring to the top of the box office with this weekend with a $34 million haul over 5 days and handily earning back its $30 million production budget. Estimates are projecting an eventual US take of more than $100 million. Crazy Rich Asians' big debut is notable for a number of reasons, but the biggest one is that it's a win for representation because Hollywood doesn't feature many Asian and Asian American characters, period, let alone as leads in major studio films. Crazy Rich Asians carry the unfair burden of proving that people will go see movies about Asian characters that stars actors of Asian descent. Let's hope this winning streak continues, and here's a look at our number 1 box office movie of this week, Crazy Rich Asians.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Oh, I know.
Rachel. I heard you thought Alma was the cook.
On the bright side, you're the talk of the party. People like your dress.
Oh, I did that.
Oh,
I know.
this is a chic 70s goddess.
So, Oliver, are you a cousin too?
Well, I'm one of the poorer relations. The rainbow sheep of the family. But I make myself useful. Whatever the youngs want, I procure. Golden koi fish, Huanghua furniture, a rare Cambodian gong.
Why would they want to buy a rare Cambodian gong?
Well, that's our show. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next Sunday at 9:35 p.m. on Showbiz Tonight, right here on Adadharana 24/7, Sri Lanka's news channel. Until then, I'm Mahieash Johnney, and may the movies be with you. Good night.